a Gye-Nyame man. I was born for greatness. My greatness comes from my potent center. I pledge to find and connect with my center. I pledge to build my spirit, mind, and body. I pledge to use my hands to build a better world for myself, my loved ones, and my community. I pledge to use my mind to think deeper, further, and higher to create a better reality for myself. I pledge to live my life and go beyond all my self-imposed limitations. I pledge to promote the principles of the Gye-Nyame warrior and to assist all those seeking the path of success. I pledge all these things first to myself, my teachers, to all my relations, and to my higher power. I am Gye-Nyame. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. That is the Gye-Nyame pledge that is said by all of our true members at least once a day. Peace and welcome to our YouTube channel. Check out our videos and podcasts. Subscribe as well as join the journey. Push past your self-imposed limitations within the Gye-Nyame journey. Peace. What's up? This is Brother Hatim, and I'm coming at you live on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. As you know, we are now doing the show called Tribal Quotes, and we are going to look at the wisdom of our ancestors and see what we can learn. But of course, you know, this is a Heart of a Symbol production. Well, the only thing we do, the only thing we live for is to blow up your paradigms, your old paradigms. Alright, I didn't get a chance to send out an invite because those that know about the show will show up. I'm going to leave the lines open for a couple of minutes. Nobody show up, I'm going to cut it off because there'll be some feedback coming off of that. But yo, I am pleased to be able to make it. I'm running just a couple of seconds late actually. I had to just drop off a bottle of the ambrosia to one of the family members, let them see the labeling and stuff like that, and let them get a taste of the goodness, you know what I'm saying, that Gye-Nyame life, right? You know, because we came up with a product, you know, we got many products, but we finally came up with one that we can almost totally control all of the factors that go into to creating this product. And this is a product that not only is good for the mind, is good for all parts of the body. The intuition is good for the mentality, it's good for the emotional, it's good for the spiritual, and most of all, it's good for the physical. I'm tired of seeing my people struggle and fall apart out here from these diseases that we may be able to assist with, that we may be able to prevent by changing making small changes in some of the habits that we have, right? So before we get all deep into the show, I mean, because some of these proverbs are long, and those of you that have the pleasure of having the African openness to the Tree of Life on hand, you know that this is a potent weapon that can be used to get your mind right, get your spirit right, get you aligned with the center. We're talking about the potent center this week, and man, oh man. Now, before we get into that, I want to make sure that y'all know all the ways that you can support us. So now, you know you can support us now by helping by trying ambrosia, you know what I'm saying? Take a sip, you know what I'm saying? You like it, share it with your friends, you know what I'm saying? You like it, you know, buy a couple of bottles, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and you know, like the money goes back to help us do some of the stuff that we're doing, you know, and we've been doing so much with so little that it's kind of hard to believe that we have yet another opportunity to do something big. Yet another opportunity. We on the Abbott thing already. We on that, right?
The word is spreading. More and more people are switching to Ambit Energy.
Well, one of my neighbors switched, and then I switched. Now the whole neighborhood has Ambit.
Who doesn't want to save money?
The word is spreading. Switching to Ambit Energy is rewarding in more ways than one.
I signed up and got a travel reward. That's nice.
Oh, I get to save on energy and on travel?
There's a cruise for two out there just a few thousand kilowatts away. I can almost smell the sunscreen.
The word is spreading. Ambit Energy even lets you earn free energy.
When I get 15 friends to switch, I get free energy. I have 15 friends. At least I think I do.
Hey, I'd be telling people to switch to Ambit anyway.
If you'd like to switch to Ambit Energy, listen to the following contact information closely. Then spread the word.
You heard the man, spread the word. You have the opportunity to allow Gye-Nyame Journey to serve you because we are a private consultant of Ambit Energy. And through Ambit Energy, we can provide you with your electricity as well as your gas. And by you allowing us to help you, you will help us do some real nation building. I believe that we have to start small, right? I know a lot of y'all get offended when I say that, right? Small change for a large change in our community. And this works in your life. Small changes in your life. A small change for a large change in your life, right? And by you redirecting some of the spending that you have going on in your house on a regular basis, we can build a place where our children are safe. The children are safe because, one, we don't have the economic power. And if you don't have the economic power, you don't have the true political power. And if you don't have the true political power, you don't have the judicial power. And if you don't have the true judicial power, you don't have the power to protect your people from the police, right? I'm just putting the challenge out. Let's start protecting our own. Let's start building. Let's start doing it. And Ambit Energy is one of the many steps that we have. Those that are on Facebook, go to Gye-Nyame Journey. Go to facebook.com/G as in George, N as in Nancy, and J as in Juice, Energy. G-N-J Energy. And you go down, you click the sign up button, and it will take you to the rates and plans, right? It ain't sign up. I couldn't change the terminology because I know a lot of y'all don't like commitment. Yeah, some of y'all are my good friends. Some of y'all are you don't like commitment. I understand, right? This is not a commitment. When you push sign up, you're not signing up for anything. It's just the way that I was able. It was the only way that I could get on that page for you to switch to our rates and plan page. You go in there, you type in your zip code, you try in your customer type. As a matter of fact, let's experiment. Let's see what I'm paying right now. 43299, residential. Am I Ambit customer? No. Show me my rates. Now what happens is it is spin for a second, and it's working, and it's working, and it's working, and bow. It's still working, and oh, here it go. All right, boom. Electric service. Look at electric service in Columbus, Ohio. Yes, I am with AEP Energy. Boom. All right, boom. Now, we have 3 types of plans. Hold on. It's still moving slow. We have the select plan, which is 5.9 cents per kilowatt hour, right? A fixed rate for a 12-month term. We have the green plan for those that want to save the planet, don't mind spending the extra money. That's $7.65 green plan. A lot of y'all ain't gonna do that. That's variable rate, and then you got a 7.9 cent 12-month term. That's the green plan. I need to stress that. That's not the fixed plan. The fixed plan is $5.90 per kilowatt hour for 12 months. The Buckeye variable rate is 5.65 cents per kilowatt hour, but that's variable, so that could go up or down. Then we have 5.59 cents for the 3-month term, and then we got 5.70 cents for the 6-month term. Now, there's no contract. I just need you to understand. It's just the plan. You fit into the plan. You want to get out of it, it's easy. Now, what I also want to do, let's go, my fault, I got out too early. Also, let's look at the commercial natural gas service. Yep, I'm with Columbia Gas. Boom. Now, The Buckeye variable, Buckeye State Select Variable Natural Gas is 33.57 cents per CCF. The fixed plan, 3-month fix is 42.60 cents per CCF. The fixed plan for 6 months is 51.9 cents per CCF. And the Buckeye fixed plan for 12 months is 54.9 cents. Now, that's just in Columbus. Now, I could type in any one of those, right? I could type in any city you in. You could type in any city you in, and you can find out what's going on. So check us out. For people that want to go directly to that page, to the fixed page, you go to, hold on. Gye-Nyame.myambit.com/rates dash and dash plans. All right. So let's get into a little bit of the news. So on my timeline right now is heavy ambrosia pushing, man, because I believe that I have stumbled on a gold mine and I'm going to pump it for all that it's worth. This is why, right? Because my children have to be able to have a business that they could call their own. The young people around me have to have some source of income, because the plan is, if we are able to get up to 1,000 bottles a week, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, let's go for 1,000 a month. But if we could do 1,000 bottles a week, we could basically take these kids almost anywhere we want to go. And on top of that, the kids, some of the young people will be working with me and getting paid. That's the goal. A business that's from the community, that's for the community. We're not selling no poison. We're not selling no junk. We're using quality distilled water. We're using quality raw and pure honey from Ohio. We're using excellent green tea, right? You know what I'm saying? As well as the other ingredients for the other drinks. You know what I'm saying? You have any questions, feel free to hit me up at hitim@gyenyame.com. I'm going to set up a email address for direct ambrosia orders. So you can send in and you can ask questions about it. That'll be set up. I'm thinking about doing it this weekend. Right now, I have 13 gallons brewing. Can't wait to go down and get my samples so I can make sure that it's where I need it to be, because Saturday is approaching quickly and I like to do as much bottling as I can on Saturdays. Well, actually, I'm not going to be able to bottle the 13 because I got to let it sit. Those that have the Death Eater out there, please listen. Put it in the refrigerator, allow it to cool and settle. Allow it to cool and settle, because it's ready to jump out the bottle. I mean, I'm loving this stuff. It's ready to go into service. It's ready to go to work. I call it Death Eater for a reason. This shit eats death, right? It helps with a lot of the problems that are going on in our community. And for further reading on it, go to GyeNyameJourney.com, and you can read about that ambrosia. You can read about Death Eater. You can read about the lemon, lime, and ginger drink. I'm working on a write-up for the ginseng, and I'm also working on a write-up for the new one that will be released, that was created by Cleveland, and it's called That Beat You Up Ambrosia, made with beets, right? I mean, and beets, people don't know beets are super sweet, but hey. Now, let's go to the news. So, sometime last week, I got to check my timeline, because right now the news is lagging. So I got to make sure that I'm able to keep up on the news, and I work on that while we're going through some of the stuff. But in the timeline this week, it's real slow. It's been a real slow week for me, because I haven't even checked the timeline. But FBI director rejects talk of the epidemic of police violence against blacks. Right? It's not officially an epidemic until they declare it an epidemic. I want you to understand that, right? Right? This is why I put the statement, it's not a problem till we say it's a problem, said the fox to the hens. You know, to the fox, the hens dying is not a problem. And he'll let them know when it's a problem. When there ain't no more hens to provide food, that's when there's a problem for the fox. So we have to understand, we got to be able to put ourselves in the proper place, in the proper perspective, so that we can understand how they coming at us, right? The chickens got to arm up, yo. The chickens got to be prepared for battle. The chickens, because those cocks, right? Even though it's a chicken, they fighters. They're fighters. They had the claws and everything. They ready. We got to get those cocks up, right? Wow. Damn, I didn't mean it to come out like that. But y'all know what I'm saying. The roosters up. We got to get the roosters up so they can be ready for battle. Get up, roosters. Stop hiding behind the chicken. Stop hiding behind the eggs. Stop hiding in the pen. We got to get up. We got to get ourselves. We got to set an image so that they understand and know. You know what I'm saying? There's consequences for injustice coming to our community. There has to be. We have to do it, right? So now, for those that are waiting, now we are on page 20 of the Africans Open to the Tree of Life. I'm going to read the 3 that I'm going to try to go through, but they're long this week. This is number 1. This is from the chapter about the potent center. Say the knowledge holders. Centering leads to self-knowing. Self-knowing is the dynamic of destiny. Say the knowledge holders. The relation to the center is the guide for the self. The center is the reflector for the self. Say the knowledge holders. Next, let me make sure my mic is on, because I need y'all to get this. All right, the mic is kicking it. All right, next. The center, this is number 2. The center is the stone of faith, say the knowledge holders. Recognition of the center labels self-confidence. Doubt of the center marks the imperfected. A person would be foolish not to contact the center, say the knowledge holders. Oh, we're going to have a good one with that one. And the last one that we may be able to make it to, say the knowledge holders. The center opens forth for the imperfected. The part becomes whole at the center, say the knowledge holders. All right. All right. Attention, I need to have your attention, class. Everybody sit down. Class is in session. We will start with proverb number 3 because it's the shortest one and we can get through it. Say the knowledge holders, the center opens forth for the imperfected. The part becomes whole at the center. The center opens forth for the imperfected. This means that the center that they've been talking about, this potent center, is open to all. Right? The imperfected, right? Those that are imperfect, that are imperfect, right? We come up in a religious tradition where we all are not perfect. We all have sinned and failed short of the glory of God. This is, and most of us struggle our whole lives because we have told that we are beings filled with sin. But what if that's not the truth? What if the imperfection that you are reflecting in your life is part of the lessons that you got with this life? That's part of the programming that was placed on you. Right? Now, we come born with everything that we need. We come born with this knowledge. We come born connected to the center. But in order to fit into this world and to start learning, we start to leave the center and become more involved with the world. Right? We become more involved with it, and in becoming involved with it, we move towards imperfection. Why? Because we start looking towards the center less and less. And we start looking more at the ego. Most of our fights, most of our family issues, most of our financial issues, most of our spiritual crises, most of our political problems, most of our communication problems come from us not being connected to the center, from us not embracing who we really are, from us accepting the programming without any question that we have been given, from our ego. It all flows from the ego, because the ego needs for you to believe that you are imperfected, that you are imperfect. Why? Because if you are convinced that you are imperfect and that you will always be imperfect, you will always be satisfied with imperfection. You will look for ways to mask your imperfection. You look for people that could give you a buyout at the end of life. You know what I'm saying? None could come to the Father but through the Son. And I know this is rubbing some of y'all the wrong way. But this is part of the programming. Because y'all need to understand, like, the world needs for you to feel imperfect. The world needs to feel that you can never achieve perfection, that you can never become the highest you, or that you need someone or something to help move you towards your highest you. When our ancestor says that the center opens up, it opens forth for the imperfected. All you got to look toward is the center. Brother Hatem, what is the center? The center is that quiet space within yourself, that quiet voice that whispers to you. Have the noise in your life become so loud that you can no longer hear this? You can no longer hear this thing. Because the noise in your life is so, you got to understand that right now, many of you are tuning into noise. Your music is noise. The programs you watch are noise. The drama that you keep going in your life is noise, and it's drowning out that small, quiet voice that is telling you to return to the center, to take that time early in the morning to search your soul, right? This soul thing that we've been talking about. Not even we've been talking, but that's been mentioned. Once you plug back into it, you are back in the center. And what does it say is, once the imperfected turns toward the center, what happens? The part becomes whole at the center. Right now, you are moving in parts. When you turns towards the center and enter the center, you become whole. You are able to use all your intelligence, the whole of your intelligence. You are able to use the whole of your strength. You are able to use the whole of your devotion. You are able to use the whole of your physical body. You are able to use the whole of your emotions and the whole of your intuition. And these things, when they are fired up and put into perspective, can guide you to the better life. But you got to contend with the advertisements on the TV. You got to contend with a lot of the noise. And you got to shut the noise off every now and then so that you can correct your course. Many of you are moving in life with a faulty program that is full of bugs that causes your system to crash. I done seen it. I've seen people on the verge of success. I have done it. On the verge of success. And that bug that you have in your programming acts up, and all of a sudden you crash. You do things to become self-destructive. I remember one time I gave a brother a golden opportunity where he could make damn near 6 figures at the point in time in my life when I was making it. And the night before he was going to come to, it wasn't even an interview. It was basically a welcome in. He got arrested. He went out and got arrested. It was almost like he self-destructed. Ain't that what we call it? Many of us, we fear success so much we don't think that we are worthy because we ain't plugged into the center. Because the center will let you know that you're worthy of that and much more. But yet you got to maintain that humbleness. A horribly complex paradox that you are worthy of everything, but you are humble. As I always point out, as my elder brother Albino told me years ago, we are no higher than a blade of grass and no lower than its roots. We have to understand the deepness of that. Meditate on that for a minute. We are no higher than a blade of grass and no deeper than its roots. Swim in the depths. What are the jewels that you could pull from this proverb? What is the jewels that you could pull from this conversation that can change your life? Every time we do this and folk tales for grown folks, there are tools. Each one of these are falling right in line and is being spoke out to the person that needs it. If you're listening to this right now, there's a reason that you are listening. And the reason is that the wisdom that's going to be dropped on you can be used and utilized in your life to change it. Turn towards the center. Taking a sip of tea. I ain't got no ambrosia. I'm letting it go on and brew. And I'm not going to open any of the bottles because I promised almost all the bottles to people. And I don't want to be one to be false on my promises. You know, I got to stand on my promises. So I got to slow down my consumption. Except I do have that beat in there. I'm going to get some that beat you up ambrosia in a minute. But, you know, we're going to continue on. So we're going to move. And we're going to move to the second one. The center. Let me move the mic a little bit closer. The center is the stone of faith, say the knowledge holders. Recognition of the center labels self-confidence. Doubt of the center marks the imperfected. A person would be foolish not to contact the center. So now, when they talk about the imperfected one, when we just start talking about those that are imperfected, those that are dealing with imperfection, if we look at second to the last one, doubt of the center marks the imperfected. Some of you have doubts about your center because you have become out of touch with it. So you doubt you doubt that it even exists. Because many of you have been taught to reach outward of yourself to find your center. When in fact, the center is in you. They say the center is the stone of faith. When we're reflecting on the center, right? A lot of us lack faith because we don't see the center within ourselves. So we definitely can't see the center in others. And a lot of times I have run into this where people would be genuinely coming from the center, but other people couldn't feel them. Why? Because oh man, that's too good to be true. They too good to be true. I done seen women turn down good men because it's too good to be true. But really what they're saying is, I don't deserve this. The center is the stone of faith. A stone, what is a stone? It's a hard thing. It depends on how big it is, but it can be very heavy and very hard to move. It's a stone, not a rock. It's a stone of faith. It's stable. It's secure. It's immovable. It's the stone of faith. That's where it is, in the center. The center is the stone of faith. A lot of you that's having a faith crisis, because you know that's one of the principles. Faith. So we say trust in another language, but faith and trust are principles that we practice, are principles that we need to be working to a living. Excuse me. It's been a hard day of work, man. I won't even go into it, but now, Then I get home and I got a brew. So let's keep on moving on that one. Recognition of the center labels self-confidence. When you recognize the center in yourself, you become more confident within yourself. Listen to that. You become more confident within yourself. So when you're within yourself, you are confident. You know your abilities. You have taken the time to master this or that and the other. You have taken the time to master something. So you're confident in your skills. You're confident in what you're able to take. You're confident in how you spend your money. You're confident. So, stone, that stone of faith, that center, that's the stone of faith. Once you recognize it, it imbues you with self-confidence. We already spoke about doubts of the imperfected. And it says, a person would be foolish not to contact the center. How many fools we got out there right now? How many individuals are refusing? I want to make sure I got it right. Are refusing to contact the center. How many of us are operating in a foolish way of living? In a foolish way of life? That marks the imperfected. Because you're disconnected from the center. As long as you're disconnected from the center, you're foolish. All this power, and you're not plugging into it. And the last one, or actually the first one. Since we don't have no guests, I go and turn this off. Last but not least, by the way, those that were interested in joining the show, hit me up at 614-556-4535. Once again, that's 614-556-4535. Last but not least, say the knowledge holders. Centering leads to self-knowing. Self-knowing is the dynamic of destiny, say the knowledge holders. The relation to the center is the guide for the self. The center is a reflector for the self. All right, let's start at the beginning. Centering leads to self-knowing. When we start to center ourselves, when we start learning about ourselves, centering leads to self-knowing. We can't know ourselves if we're not moving towards the center. If we're not centering ourselves. How do we center ourselves, Hatil? Meditation, workouts, prayer. Center yourself. Center yourself. Get those quiet moments. Allow those thoughts to just drift away. I ain't saying get rid of them because that's too much work, especially if you're a thinker, right? But just watch those thoughts flow across your mind like clouds and don't even bother them. Let them flow. Wonder what we're going to have for dinner tonight. Just let it flow. Don't react to it. And wait for it to eventually drown out, and you can connect yourself to the center. Right? Center yourself. By centering ourselves, we empower ourselves. Let me say that. By centering ourselves, we empower ourselves. Self-knowing is the dynamic of destiny. That means that in order to really be the success that you want to be, you have to get to know you. Self-knowing is the dynamic of destiny. A dynamic is the energy that makes destiny moves. It's that energy. It's that energy that moves you towards your destiny. But if you're not centered, you just like a leaf in the wind, just floating. All right, let's move on. The relation to the center is the guide for the self. When we relate to the center, when we have a relationship with the center, it guides. It's a guide for us. It can answer those questions, but we got to take time to ask. Make sure you start asking those individuals that are around you that may be able to help you or benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you're asking those questions. And the relation to the center is the guide for the self. Get related to your center. And when you center yourself, you start seeing either people will start centering themselves or they'll start falling off. The center is the reflector for the self. So not only does it help us, it allows us to see who we really are. It reflects who we really are to us. Have you sat down and looked at the mirror inside yourself? Y'all too busy for that, huh? Nah. All right. So, I'm not going to belabor the point. We ran through those. It was real quick. We're going to close the class down. I want to thank everybody that took the time to listen to Gye-Nyame Journey. This is Brother Hatim, and I'm out.